Dosm's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dosm Ryder here with a quick Dosm's Rambles on the Bandai. What is it? Just get it together, Dosm. This is on the Bandai panel that happened today, which will be tomorrow when this goes up, but today for you, weebly wobbly timey wimey. But Bandai's panel for Comic-Con. And if I remember right, I think this is basically the only Power Rangers related thing going on at Comic-Con this year. There's no Ninja Steel panel, nothing for the movie, obviously, because it came out already. I think there's like a Boom thing happening today or tomorrow or something, but I usually don't talk about the comic stuff. And also, like, I can't imagine there'd be anything huge enough to warrant a video for that. But regardless, I decided to do this now because this weekend might be kind of busy, so it's the only chance I could think of to pop up a video like this. So now that I've justified the video, but not myself, we will start this video. So this is one of the weirdest intros I've done in a long time, and I recorded like a video before this, so it's not even like my first video of the day. Anyway, so there was some semi-big-ish stuff. I'm going to use these quotation marks a lot. These ones specifically. I have other ones, like the triple ones. No one's ever done that. What is wrong with me? Anyway, so it was basically Legacy Line stuff and like MMPR stuff of the like. Imagine X stuff I think was there. I'm not even really talk about that. But there was no Ninja Steel stuff, no movie stuff that I recall seeing from the news feeds I looked at. And obviously no future stuff of like the series or anything. But it was Legacy stuff. So start off with the smaller things. They're releasing more MMPR original Zords, and they're going to basically be larger scale, individual, and from what and they look like they come with little figures, and from what I understand, they can all combine into a larger original Megazord, which is kind of needless. I'll probably get them because I'm a collector. Like, this is something that would seem neat before all the MMPR saturation. And like I said, I'll probably check them out. It's neat that they can at least combine, from what I understand. Maybe that's not true, but they look fine. It's funny because there was a time I remember back in the early days of me getting aware of fandom stuff and getting really back into this stuff, that I would just dream of having old releases of things and having merchandise from previous seasons, and now it's like there's ones that make me roll my eyes, and it's just like such a stark contrast from little, like 10 years ago Dosm, little, I was like, not little, but you know what I mean, like 10 years ago Dosm to me, like it's just this wide-eyed kid, like, oh man, I hope they do the Dragon Zord, and I'm like, screw the 90s, everything's the worst, you're gonna die eventually or something, like, I don't know, but it's just funny contrast, because like, basically the point of that is if this announcement would go up back for 10 years ago Dosm, he'd be like, oh my god, and now I'm just like, oh my god, like full on Bob's Burgers. But anyway, so that's a thing that's happening. They're doing like more like sculpture busts. Like there's ones for the original series and there's some for the movie. I maybe would get a movie one. And then along with the more MMPR legacy stuff, I believe they mentioned helmets. I saw helmets in Power Rangers Now's article. So I'm down for more helmets like the Red Ranger helmet. I liked those. It's a bit pricey for sure, but I like the look of it on display, so I'm probably going to get anything they release in terms of that. They also mentioned the flip head figures, which actually does intrigue me because that was one of my most nostalgic things. I hate that word because I hate nostalgia, but from when I was younger, and I thought it was interesting that they brought it back. I'm actually have a review for that coming out like next week for finally for the movie ones, but I thought it was interesting that they tried to bring it back with the movie, but they weren't very good. Like, it's always something I thought would be cool to bring back, but with better engineering, but they brought it back worse in some ways. Like, there were some neat parts about it. Save it for the review. But regardless, I'm interested to see what those releases look like, and I'll definitely pick them up because I loved the flip heads when I was younger. So I think that was all on that MMPR front. And then they finally announced that we are moving on to Zeo, which the fandom is shrieking about, or has been shrieking about. It's kind of a double-edged sword for me, if that's the right expression, because they only have one more MMPR Megazord that I care about they need to do. Everyone always mentions Thor when I bring this up. Thor. Not Thor. He's not even real. He's just a kid. He can fall over. But Thor, like, I'm kind of being a hypocrite with this, because I'm like, I want them to go in order, but honestly, if we don't see Thor, I don't really care. Like, if they come out with it, I'll probably get it, and maybe even like it, but Thor's not my favorite, and I don't really care. Like, I just want the Shogun Megazord. That's really all I want. Like, personally, and I think just releasing the Shogun Megazord would be the perfect end to the main MMPR Legacy line. So, like, they're just basically one away. Like, there's other things they can do. They're doing the Black Gold Titanus we know of. They could do, like, Ninja or something and then Tor, but, like, the Shogun one's the only one I care about, and I think the only one that they need to do to just finish it. Like, they're so close to the finish line. So I just would love, I hope we get that at some point, and it bothers me, even if we do get it after Zeo, it bothers me not going out of order. It's an OCD thing. I'm basically like Monk, I'm like, you'll thank me later. So, but it is nice that we are moving on, but we only needed really one more solid release before we could officially move on. That'll make me feel better. And I hope that we stay going in chronological order. Like, we're at Zeo now, like, kind of like the Sentai DVDs are doing. I don't want us to be like Zeonizer, Gold Staff, Titanium Morpher, because people always, it bothers me if we go out of order. Like, it just does. Like, it would just be so weird, and I'm not gonna throw a huge fit if we do, but I would love us to go at least in somewhat of an order. It just makes more sense in my head. But as I just said, the two things announced were the Zeonizer, which I think will be cool to get them updated that, see how it compares to the old one, and the Gold Power Staff, which is an awesome weapon for sure, and that will be neat also to get an update on that, especially the quality of the Legacy line. I'm actually quite looking forward to that. And then at Comic-Con, the exclusive is the Golden Communicator. I'm honestly going to assume we're going to see some sort of version of that in retail release, because I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm just gonna assume, because I also remember, speaking of like past Ranger fandom stuff, like the huge drama over the original gold white Green Ranger Morpher release. Like, it was like some of the worst drama I've seen, the most angry, and then later on we got our own version of it. Like, they're still different, but so I'm going to assume we'll get something like that later. So basically there's 3 Legacy Zeo items going right now. I am looking forward to getting to Zeo stuff. Honestly, a lot of the stuff going forward for Zeo Turbo Space onwards, but I just want a Shogun Megazord, that's all. And like, in terms of MMPR saturation, even though I am looking forward to moving on in the Legacy line, it was honestly never the Legacy line stuff that, like, bothered me. Like, when they announced Black Gold Dragon Zord or Titanus or Ninja Megazord, I was always like, cool. I was never like, oh, more MMPR, crap. Because the MMPR saturation that annoys me is actually all the, like, extra merchandise, like the keychains and the plushies and the wall decals and the Imaginext. Like, every single little niche line, whether it's Bandai's or not, is MMPR, and I get it because that's more for the casuals, so that's what they're gonna pick up. But I would love to see them sprinkle some other stuff in. Like, if they have little stylized figures or mugs or something, like, do one Zeo or something. Zeo was still recognizable for people of our generation that aren't like me who kept following it. So I don't know. That's the stuff I get annoyed with. The main line, it doesn't annoy me nearly as much as seeing another niche line of all MMPR stuff. Mainly because when there is like a neat little collectible like that, I can't help but think, oh, I would love that in another season, you know. Anyway, so that's a little rant about that. The last thing I can think of, unless I'm forgetting it, is they talk a little bit about the Legacy line. We're going to be getting White Dino Thunder, which that's all I need. That's the most important to me because he's my favorite suit of all time. In Space Silver, and there was another one I'm forgetting. There was 1 or 2 other ones, but those are the 2 that latched out to me. So we're completing In Space, completing Dino Thunder, because I believe Black Ranger's already been confirmed. But like, that was the only news I could see. Like, the other news I'm about to talk about is everyone's favorite, but I'm happy about the White Drago Ranger because it's my favorite suit of all time. Spoiler alert when I do top 5 favorite suits. And we don't really have a very decent figure of it. So there's some okay-ish ones throughout time, but that sounds more epic. Anyway, but I'm looking forward to that. The other big announcement was we are going to be getting the 5 Psycho Rangers next year. I think it's 2018. I'm a little mixed on that news. I think it's cool news. Like, objectively, yes, I love the Psycho suits. Like a lot of Power Rangers fans, I do have that basic bitch fan. That sounds mean, but like, there is like basic opinions in the PR fandom that a lot of people have, and the Psycho Rangers and that arc being a favorite is one of them, and I share that. I do love that arc, and I love the suits. So I am excited for the figures in one way, because we've never gotten figures for them remotely, and the fact that we're getting it in the best looking figures is cool. But it does bother me that we're getting a complete team of them before we finish Ninja Storm. I could go a whole video complaining about how the way they release the Legacy figures bothers me, and like in some ways I get it, but also I don't. But mainly just release Hunter, Blake, and Cam, man. It's 3 guys, especially with your split wave and like Dino Thunder's being finished. I can't think of another one that's really on track to be as unfinished as Ninja Storm. So it does kind of bother me that we would get that before finishing Ninja Storm, and in a way before complete teams. But also I did happen to think about, if this line doesn't last to the point where we get figures for everybody, which there's a chance it won't, you know, because they've started multiple collector's grade lines like this and not finished them, then it is nice we're getting the Psychos, because we might not ever see those in any other form again. Like in 2019, this line could get canceled, and then in late 2019, 2020, they could come out with another Legacy collector line of figures in a different scale and look, but we might never get Psycho Rangers. So I guess it will be kind of nice to get things in this line we might not ever see in other forms before it dies. I'm hoping it doesn't die, but it's just real iffy. But so yeah, that's about it for this. If there is any other major news that's worth talking about this weekend in regards to Power Rangers or whatever else, I will post a video, or try to post a video, but I just wanted to get this up. It should be going up Friday morning, and this news came out Thursday. But anyway, that's about it. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Dosm Rider, signing out.